Hi everyone, my name is Mike Hellick, Tech Service Engineer for Welding. Today I'm here to show you a brand new product, very exciting, 9002NC. NC stands for Natural Color. You may remember our 9000X series. A few differences I'd like to point out right away. On our 9000X, remember we have an older suspension. On the 9002NC, we have the same suspension that's used on the 100V and SL, much more ergonomic and comfortable for our users. The other main advantage in between the 9002X and the 9002NC is the lens. On this lens, we now have the same optics that we have in the XXI that we'll cover more later in this. The general specifications for this helmet are 0.1 millisecond for ADS switch time. That's the time that it takes for this helmet to go dark once it detects an arc. In order to actually operate this helmet, there is an on button. That on button must be depressed to be used. If at any time this helmet does not see an arc for 60 minutes after the on button was pushed, it will turn off. In its light shade, it is a shade 3. In its off shade, it is a shade 3 also. It has full protection of UV and IR up to a shade rating of 12. The shade selections on this helmet are 8 through 12. That is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The delays, delay being the time it takes from this helmet to go from a dark state to a light state, range between 0.06 and 0.4 seconds. Please see your user instructions for more information around that. The viewing area is the exact same as the 9002X. It's 4.2 by about 2.2 inches. The helmet itself, as a full assembly, weighs approximately 17 ounces. The weight of the helmet shell is approximately 8 ounces. The ADF assembly is approximately 6 ounces. The head suspension assembly weighs approximately 3 ounces. The operating on this product is from 23F to 131F in compliance with the ANSI standard. The battery types are two CR2032 lithium 3-volt batteries, which I'll show you how to remove later. Expected battery life for this helmet is approximately 2,000 hours with a low battery indicator. ADF use temperatures again mirror our operating temperatures at 23F to 131F. Head sizes are 6 1/4 to 7 7/8. The material of all this helmet is a polyamide, except for the cover plates, which are polycarbonate. And the compliance for this helmet is ANSI Z87 2015, tested to the high impact rating of 300 feet per second in the high velocity impact test. Hi, what I'd like to do is go through this feature by feature. First off, we're going to look at the suspension. The suspension is the same suspension used in the 100V and SL. It's a 05, 06, 55, 00. As you can see it here in the helmet, there's a few things I'd like to point out. Of course, we have this adjustment for size. So here we have the angle throw. So this is the throw to change the angle at its bottom position. You actually lift up this blue tab and rotate it to lock it in at a different position. Here's a suspension that's actually been removed from the helmet. You simply have to adjust this to meet the peg into the helmet to change it from a slight angle to a very severe downward angle. Also, the pivot mechanisms on both sides are tensioning to adjust how difficult or how much tension there is to rotate this down into position. The tighter this throw, the looser this throw. We also have a few features that are usually lost, such as this. This can actually take the suspension, moving it forward and backwards, because ideally the wearer wants to wear it as close to their face as possible, limiting overhanging weight. Here's a suspension that's actually been removed from the helmet. You can see here a D, C, B, and A. D being the farthest away from the nose. If I take this, lift this up, slide it, I can lock it in the A position. These tabs are on both sides to keep it equal. And then also at the top, there's another adjustment strap per head size. And here's our sweatband on this product also too. It's just held with a few hook and loop tabs. You simply popped off, removed, laundered, and replaced. This helmet also has exhalation features in it to help direct warm breath out for better user comfort. As the user breathes out here, that exhalation air is pressed out through here. So as a size comparison, I'd just like to note that the 9002 NC is slightly narrower. Hi, I'd like to go through some general maintenance procedures that will be done on this helmet, such as replacing the inner and outer cover plate and showing you how to change out the batteries. So to get to the lens assembly, all we do is grab on one side, pop this off. There's two tabs down here at the bottom that also have to be removed. To remove the lens assembly, simply squeeze on these two tabs on the top, rotate this out, and lift the lens out. The outside protection plate is a very simple finger pick. It's right here. Also, our inside protection plate is a simple finger pick as well. The batteries are actually housed in the lobes of this lens. Do you see these two blue sections right here? That's where the batteries are. I like to use a small screwdriver to remove those, but almost anything will get them out. If I take that, pull the battery out, it's in a simple battery holder, such as this. Both sides are the same. You just have to pop out this 2032 battery. Excuse me. When you're replacing the battery, make sure you replace both batteries at the same time. And reinstall. It'll only go in one way, so you really can't mess it up. So let me reassemble this really quick for you, and I think we'll throw in an additional feature as we do it. So, inside protection plate, outside protection plate, putting it back in the lens, put the bottom in first, let it catch, rotate it in, it'll click on those two tabs right here, okay? Silver front piece, simply put the bottom in, catch on one side, and then what I like to do is just roll it over, and you hear the audible click, and it's all back together. For those who need magnification plates or readers, simply remove the outside protection plate, place the reader inside the lens, and replace the outside protection plate. In our 9002 NC helmet, we have new precision optics with a view that it appears lighter, brighter, and more realistic, which allows for better control of a weld puddle. This can be seen on this graph. A traditional bandpass filter shows more in the green. So a traditional helmet, everything that you view through it appears more green. While we block all UV and IR, if we move on to the new 9002 NC helmet, you'll see more realistic or more colors that are unmuted. Now you can see more reds, more yellows, and more blues. This leads to better visual optics. There's 4 different items I'd like to review on the back of this lens. Our on button and shade button, our sensitivity button, delay button, and battery indicator. As we talked about before, if this battery indicator becomes lit, please replace both batteries. The shade button and on button, select the shade, press it once, you simply see where you are, press it again in random fashion, and you'll move through your selected shades. Sensitivity, there's 4 sensitivities, 1 being the least sensitive and 4 being the most sensitive. For delay, there's 3 sensitivities for delay, the minus, middle, and plus. Those can be covered more in your user instructions, but as you move up in delay, you have a longer delay setting. Delay is from the dark state back to the light state. As we take a look at these shades, the shade 8 is lighter than the shade 12. Shade 8 would be used in such applications as plasma welding or very light TIG welding. As we move up the scale, we get to basically a 10. That's where we're going to start MIG welding. And the more power we use, the darker we're going to want to be, moving up to a 12. For sensitivity, we have 4 different settings. Position 1 would be very low sensitivity. This would be for welding in groups. Sensitivity 2, position 2, will be a typical welding situation such as MIG and or stick or heavy TIG welding. High sensitivity such as 3 is for some lower amperage TIG welding, and sensitivity 4 would be for your very low amperage DC TIG welding, which would be very sensitive. One commonly misunderstood setting on ADFs is sensitivity. I'd like to cover that in more detail. A lens has photosensors on it. On this particular unit, they're placed here and here, level with the eye. And what sensitivity is these sensors see a change in IR light, not an overall amount of IR light. They do not know if you're standing outside on a sunny day or if you're in a cave. So what they're looking for is a change of IR light. We're going to do a really quick example with a very simple device. This is a TV remote. A TV remote works on IR light. So what we're going to do first is look at what sensitivity 1 is. That is the least sensitive. I'm going to have Joe here raise his hand when his lens goes dark while I walk at him pushing this remote. See how close I have to come for him in the setting of 1? Let's run through this again, sensitivity setting of 4. Note how far away I can be and Joe's lens activates.